Global mobility, in one word, it would be definitely diversity. There's so much diversity in every way. I think global mobility is the challenge of, first of all, having the right talent on the right place, on time, and within a budget. But on top of that, having to do this, dealing with more diversity and cultural codes than anyone else. There is diversity in terms of your colleagues. They have different specialties, they have different cultural backgrounds, we speak different languages. The customers that we have is the same, different profiles, different cultures, different nationalities, different home countries, different host countries. And also within the company, the level of the people with whom we interact with so many different levels within the organization. We deal with different topics. We need to know about cultural backgrounds, about taxes, about immigration, about policies. So again, there's so much diversity when you work in global mobility that for me, that would be the best word to describe it, definitely.
So global mobility, I think it may mean different things into different markets and different companies. Because we can see that in some companies it's a very important function, where in others they may question the function and if they are using it effectively. But I think for me the global mobility is becoming one of the core functions of the businesses in general. That's where I see right now in terms of the functionality.
I really think is that global experience, gaining and getting the global experience, and it's not necessarily part of the career tool, which is an important element. So the global experience is crucial to become a global leader or global employee. So that's one element from a work perspective. But because of really the global world, because of the access to the information, is that personal interest. I want to experience the countries. I want to experience working in multiple jurisdictions. I would say the factors are both personal and professional, and I think factors will be more prevalent as the professional ones going forward.
Yeah, for any global mobility program or policy these days, flexibility versus duty of care would be a challenge. Much as organizations would like to provide benefits, sometimes in the form of lump sum cash, which provides the assignee the flexibility to use it however he wishes based on his own personal needs or preference. We must remember in global mobility that there are minimum benefits that we need to provide at a level that ensures that the assignees are looked after. Some of those benefits are medical coverage, definitely very important, and it has to be at a level that is aligned to what the company really would like to provide to the assignee. For me, so is housing as well. We don't want assignees to be living in not at par locations just to save on money. And also transportation and security in some locations are mandatory to be given. So those are the some of the things that I think much as we would like to be flexible, we need to make sure that they are looked after in those regards.
Development assignees help our organization to make sure that we have talents succeed into the future organization, the future leaders, but also making sure from a retention perspective that we can also develop talents to different levels and also connects one organization to the other in our company. So it's both from gaining international experience, be exposed to international business, but also developing you not only as a professional, but also from a personal perspective. And it can also, development assignments can also be used as a test to accelerate growth potential, but also to assess the growth potential for each talent. Development policies can be designed differently depending on whether it's from a talent perspective, it's if it's a leadership role that we want to develop, or it's a different role that needs to be developed. It can also be from employee and a business-driven agenda. So we have different development areas, because it could be your personal development that you actually want to excel and also pursue, which has lesser weight on the business requirements here. So I can see both angles in development assignments.
And that will be about feeling secure. If it's a feeling of security that the assignee and their family need to have in order to feel comfortable in the country that they're going to.
Back in March of 2020, from the US perspective, when everything started shutting down, immediately we realized that this would impact our ability to mobilize our talent. And at the time, I was working for a very large organization that had a very heavy international assignment population, constantly moving folks around, and the ability to do that caused a bit of panic. It caused a bit of an alarm, and we had to really put our critical thinking skills to use. We really had to start thinking outside of the box with respect to how we could ensure that we're able to get the talent to support the business each from their current location. What does that mean? What stakeholders do we have to pull in, whether that be payroll, our corporate tax, our external stakeholders from a tax perspective and immigration perspective, and how can we solve this problem?
Do you imagine the post-coronavirus global mobility industry? What will happen next?
I think we're going to take a step forward to say, what, given the amplitude of the pandemic and what it presented worldwide, I think industry by industry, the pandemic is going to have an effect on how we, move people and how we look at moving people, and what we're, what types of, I'm not going to say, from a work employee standpoint, what levels are we looking at relocating, and what's the reasoning? What are the business objectives? So I think we're going to take a little bit more of a granular look at our policies. One, why are we moving people? Who are we moving? Are we giving equitable opportunities to all employees, no matter whether it's their race, gender, sexual identity? Are we availing opportunities to everybody that should be getting these opportunities?
Anytime that you have really strong DE&I initiatives, your teams are going to be more culturally agile. They're going to be looking at new ways of doing business. They're going to be looking at ideas more openly. So DE&I, when you bring those two initiatives into any kind of mobility program and you support the business with it, you're expanding the opportunity for growth as an organization. You're expanding the opportunity for increase in profits, because the organization will learn and grow better. And it's such a key foundation of that growth initiative for any company. That's been known forever. But building that into your mobility program, then you're exponentiating that opportunity, because now you're bringing people from outside, and whether you're using local plus programs to keep a cost down, and you can even build in more expat programs using this, I think there's a lot of opportunity to continue with that D&I initiative and still be cost efficient in how you do it.
Global mobility is evolving all the time. I think that more tech savvy people will be required. I also think that global mobility is moving towards a more self-service with the employee. So a different experience will be required, or a different experience will be provided to the employees. With that, it's going to be different skills that we will have to have. We may not be as close to the employees as we are today, or some of us are today, but more on the strategic side, more with the business, more with our HR partners and other key stakeholders in driving the mobility strategy, rather than with the employees on the day-to-day operations. I feel like more and more we will see that being outsourced. At least that has been my experience. But at the same time, I feel like because employee experience is a big focus overall, part of our strategy will be how we enhance that experience, even though we're not on the day-to-day with them.